Many things have changed in recent months. Ta-ta, darling.
Well, they can't all be winners.
There you are. Starting to wonder if you'd show up.
Likewise. And I'm glad at least one of us was confident in your return. It hasn't always been easy, wondering if something might have happened to you and Karlak in that place. But perhaps I should have known better than to doubt. It is you we're talking about, after all. Come here, will you?
You feel a little more substantial than before. Less camping and scrounging off the land, I take it. I suppose I do, don't I?
It's good to see you again. Even if only for a short while.
I had no doubt. But I'm glad to hear you say it all the same. Must I? You presume a great deal. I'm joking. Of course I want to know. Tell me all. I'm glad you two have each other. Hells, I'd be almost tempted to come along if you'd have me. Perhaps if your adventures ever lead you out of Avernus permanently. Hopefully these meetups will become a regular occurrence. It's not that I miss the tadpoles, but at least it brought us together. Now we've got to make the extra effort ourselves.
Don't think I won't hold you to that. And take care of each other. Always.
Don't be a stranger. I've missed wine. Had to resort to making my own cider recently, which isn't bad, don't get me wrong.
My favorite. Never gets old.
You know, I never really imagined Withers as much of a party thrower. But then again, I suppose our camps weren't taking care of themselves while we were out gallivanting, were they? There's hidden depths in that lovable husk. Indeed. Healing can only do so much. We'd likely be dead somewhere out in the wilderness if not for him. Oh no, that's all part of the fun. You know me. I can't resist a bit of mystery. Don't be a stranger.
There's something strange in your old friend's mouth. What is it? Scratch barks merrily in something like agreement. He seems excited in a way you recognise. He wants you to throw the object he's dropped. But it isn't a ball. It's the astral prism. He whines. Less talk, more throw.
Do my eyes deceive me? The gang really is all here.
Your relief, your projection holds. It took a dozen Gish's talents, a few stolen psi crystals, and 2 10 days of effort to conjure it. You can touch, taste, and talk. But your fleshy body is in limbo, the home of the mystical Githzerai. Once the Githzerai were one with the Githyanki, until bloody civil war severed the Gith species. The Githzerai god king Menyar Ag-Gith sent word through the cosmos. He knows of your rebellion, and he's agreed to parley. Should the Githzerai join you, you could vanquish Flakith in a red dragon's blink.
What's the word on the rebellion? I presume you've cracked open more Kithraki heads than you could possibly count. Then you did keep count. I should have known you would. I'm afraid since we last met, my corpse count remains a paltry 0. Unless you count the boars I felled on ducal hunts. Rebuilding a city requires a politic mind. A sharp soldering blade, not so much. Bargains must be made. Coin must change hands. Tongues must be held in check. Father leaves me to my own devices. though he's got no shortage of advice when I ask for it. Still, I make the decisions I see fit. The ones I think will restore the city to glory. I serve only Baldur's Gate, not a devil of the first hell. Father's very well, and back in his element, commanding the flaming fist with as brave a heart as ever. Floric, bless her soul, convinced him to withhold the lashings, and the likes of Gortash can bend people's minds with a few chosen words. No tadpole needed. Bane's chosen primed the fist for a war they weren't meant to win. He convinced them there was an assassin hiding in every shadow, that cruelty was the correct answer to crisis. With a few exceptions, Father's pardoned every last fist. If my forgiveness not be Tyr's will, so be it. I shall forgive them all the same. His words, not mine. He still believes in the bow and the blade, but with Floric's help, he's teaching valor is found not. May they all take it to heart. I've had more than a few challenges. The people know me as the patriarchs, the aristocracy, the councils of Waterdeep and Arm. Still, there's no friction that can't be greased with a sly promise or a proposition. The jewel of the coast will shine ever bright. Well, we are building new housing, not just Amazing what can be done when Parliament... I'm sure the Silver Shields can make do without a few more jewels. Disbanded, to be... I don't expect a soldier or street sweeper to see, but the city's lords and ladies were all too eager to abandon their... My father, Older Ravengard is now... Floric is now Grand Duke of the... And I am we will yet be four. Until such time and after, we will enact... Baldur's Gate is nothing without its citizens, both in the upper and lower. Our duty is to them, of course. I've missed you too. If I had to do it all over again, and I'd rather never. The hexes and eldritch blasts, losing them took getting used to. They left behind a cold abyss where fire once raged, so I stoked a new one. Now the burning comes from within me. Go on, the night's young. Or waste a single drop of wine for that.
I simply must have this one. It's practically Well, look who it is. So, how are you enjoying the Hells, my dear? I assume they're darling as ever. Oh, bless you. But no. I am living a life better than most can dream of. I'm not trading these silks for, scorched rags. Cazador's mansion has become my palace, and played host to every kind of banquet and soiree and masquerade imaginable. And of course, has seen its fair share of hedonism, clandestine deals, and the occasional disappearance. Whatever it takes to build up my influence over those who matter. I'm spinning my web. Power grows slowly, but I have nothing but time now. Rather wonderfully, actually. I've been making all sorts of new friends. They're the kind of friends that would see me burn the first chance they get. But that's all in the nature of the game, isn't it? But the important thing is I am doing wonderfully. Finally having a life that's worth living. And who knows what's next? There's an entire world out there. Ready. Perhaps the next time we meet, we'll have grander conquests to toast. I did miss you, you know. There is a sense of loneliness that comes with power. We did share a wonderful adventure, you and I. A pity to see it end in some ways. But we have great new lives stretching out before us, and great new adventures to go on. I will never forget the time we spent together, though. And I know you'll never forget me. Until next time, darling.
Why were we scrounging in barrels and crates?
Well, well. Look what the Tressim dragged in. Professor Gale Decarius of Blackstaff Academy. Educator of the esteemed School of Illusion. A pleasure to remake your acquaintance. She did not. I'm delighted to report. She sought me out. Not long after, we went our separate ways, and assured me neither she nor the orb should pose me any threat in the future. Of course, it's still in there. A constant reminder of my former hubris. And a surprisingly effective means of keeping my more disobedient students in line. Perhaps a tad too effective. I spend most of my time trying to convince them how much fun the study of magic can be. But it'd be easier to crack a smile on an intellect devourer than some of my pupils. Ah, so you still remember it was at that moment, the weave connecting us, but I realized how much your friendship had come to mean to me. You were, of course, indulging me in submitting to such a lesson. Teaching you was hardly an effort at all. Oh, they try their best, of course, when they can manage to stay.
Cheek of them. Nothing a well-placed swipe from Tara can't fix, though.
And what of you? What are you making of this newfound lease of life we earned? Quiet is not always peace. That much I can vouch for. But I've told my students plenty of tales about our escapades. You're something of a hero to them. I'd be delighted to introduce you to my current cohort as a guest lecturer, perhaps. I'm sure they'd have plenty of questions for you. Well, I, for one, can't wait. And I say with some... Of course, you'll be most welcome to stay with me in my tower. My apologies, Tara. That would be our tower. It will give us plenty of time to catch up on your adventures. I'm very curious to know what you've been up to these past months. But I suspect the telling of that tale. So, in the spirit of selflessness, I encourage you to mix and mingle for now, with time enough to come. My knees are a little stiff. Must be a storm coming.
Define. I wonder if I can get
This is nice. Yes. I think that's the right word for it.
Good song, good company, good wine. I wish it could last forever.
This one night is like any other, and yet different. Thou art the savior of Baldur's Gate, until such time it requires saving again. How dost thou feel? I am pleased to hear it. The satisfaction of one's intention is, to my surprise, a rare accomplishment. Enjoy the revelry of the day. Thou deservest at least that much. What indeed? Prick up thy ears and listen. The balance of the world restored. The balance of these lives, mortal and otherwise, brought to account. Hear me, thou heroes, wastrels, friends. I have waited long to tell you these words. It is over. For now. Thou played thy part in weaving the fabric of fate itself, but for every thread you sewed, so did the gods unravel another. Sleep, rest, revel, but be ready. For thou mayst yet be needed. Until we meet again, I wish thee every possible fortune, health, wealth, love, and above all, problems worth solving. To you. There thou art, the dead three. Thy faces gods, thy actions barely worthy of the name. Didst truly believe thy ploy would succeed? Didst believe I would not notice? Thou soughtst to bolster thy strength by taking away the souls of mortals. But souls vanish when their hosts become mind flayers. Didst think the other gods would not notice? Gods thou may be, yet thou hast proven thyself fools, everyone. The supplication of Bane, the whimper of Baal, the death mule of Merkel. Felled by mortals. I overestimated thee. They did not. Vermin, away. Thou wilt trouble us no more.